Welcome to Point Blank Period. Point Blank Period.
Point blank period.
Point blank period.
Point Blank Period. No pressure.
Can't have a baseball conversation without bringing up Ohtani.
He's a great pitcher and a power hitter. Yo, this man's top 5.
I'm still taking today's NFL.
I'm going with the 90s.
None of them are better than Brady.
This is your argument?
No, what I'm saying is, who's MVP? Do they not matter no more?
Like, everything you said before that point is irrelevant.
Not how the NFL works, baby. We drafted your replacement already. So,
I don't got to talk to no peon.
why not just come back and prove?
This time he really going off. Fireworks.
Because we can't argue facts. What I told you when you got involved with this.
This
Grown
is
man business. Grown man business. Yeah, for the fans that was expecting a slugfest and thought they were going to get in there and just trade back and forth, you weren't expecting Terence Crawford to win that fight, because for him to win the fight, he had to come with the game plan that he did, and he had to execute the game plan as well as he did. His game plan was basically to keep the distance as far as not giving Canelo an opportunity to land a clean flush shot and have to really test Canelo's power and then test his chin, vice versa. Excuse me. So the distance he kept throughout the fight was really an art, and that's what I kept paying attention to while we were watching the fight. And it towards the end, you saw how it frustrated Canelo because he couldn't get to him. He couldn't get that shot that could have altered the fight, and it ended up frustrating him because he couldn't figure him out. Now, Bud is known for switching his stances throughout the fight. He didn't switch his stance throughout this fight, which goes to show how disciplined he was in the game plan. While he was able to get inside a few times to land a few combinations and touch Canelo up to put points on the scorecard, but as far as retaliation and counterpunching, it was open there for Crawford because Canelo had to reach so far to try to land. That's where Bud was hitting him on a few counters to get him while he was reaching. So the distance of that fight and the distance that Bud maintained was the key point of that fight that dictated it. But as far as roses, we have to give him to him. Bud has supplanted himself as the best fighter of this era, hands down. He is the end-all, be-all after the Floyd Mayweather era. And as far as how much longer he got, it's in his control now. Now that you've done everything that you can do, a 3-division undisputed champion, which has never been done by a male before. Clarissa Shields was able to do it. He has nothing else to prove, so to say. And now he's at a point now where every fight he takes after this, he's risking way more than he can gain. Now, I did say maybe him and Canelo can run it back because this fight left a lot to be seen. We would like to see how Canelo can respond. We would like to see if Bud can execute this way again as flawlessly as he handled this fight. But it's all in his hands. It's his choice. And then in this next fight, he would be the A side. So the numbers from that fight that I read last time I saw it was 150 million purse for Canelo and a 50 million purse for Bud. We don't know how accurate that is, but that's here nor there. If they rematch this fight, that whole dynamic is going to swing, and Bud has the opportunity to really get one more bag before maybe he does hang it up and retire. So it's all in his hands, and that's the luxury he's earned with the performances he's put forth. But Bud is planning himself as the greatest of this era, for sure.
And I'm going right there. Mr.K.D, you had him winning before the fight. So I want to ask you, why did you have him winning? What made you so confident to go on record to say? And you said about slum margin, maybe 51-49, but you still was on record saying that it would be him, even though he was the smaller fighter and he had to move up 3 weight class. What gave you the confidence to believe that he would be the one that will win?
Because Bud is very smart. Like I said, if you follow boxing and you would think you run down the ways that each fighter can win this fight, I thought Bud's way of winning it falls in line with how he likes to fight anyway. And it was going to give him a chance to exhibit his elite boxing IQ and elite boxing skills, which he put forth. He stayed behind his jab. He waited for a few counters, kept his distance, kept moving, and he ended up finding himself in control of that fight for the majority of the fight. I think I had Canelo winning probably 4 or 5 rounds. I did have him taking 4 or 5 rounds, but they weren't dynamic enough to swing the ending scorecard. So I was confident in Bud because the closer I got to the fight and the face-offs I seen and the press conferences I seen, his demeanor was just of a certain confidence that it assured me he was prepared. And like I said, he went out there and he executed flawlessly. All kudos and all shout out to Bud. I can't say it enough. The greatest of this era, and I don't even want to debate that. There's nobody you can debate with me about that.